How's it going, guys? It's been a while. I'm going to review Mortal Kombat 2021, the HBO Max reboot of the saga.
The target had superhuman abilities. It had the same marking you do, Cole.
The Mortal Kombat 2021 is a reboot of pretty much of everything. All the old games, all the old movies. It's completely its own entirely different story, its own thing. These characters, which is Liu Kang, Sonya, Jax, Kung Lao, all these heroes are chosen by Raiden, which is, we all know, he's the protector of Earthrealm and the Thunder God. They're chosen to go in this tournament and fight for their realm. They have to fight for their realm so that way their realm doesn't have to be invaded by Outworld, which has a bunch of villains in the Outworld. You have Cabal, you have Melina, you have Reiko, you have Nitada, you have Shang Tsung, which is a sorcerer, Goro, all these villains, Sub-Zero, all these villains. Speaking of Sub-Zero, the cool thing about Sub-Zero, they make Sub-Zero menacing in this movie, which I really like, which I'll get to that later, but they also show you the opening sequence or the opening origin story between Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi, and Sub-Zero of why the two rivals hate each other so much, pretty much. So that's the plot. These fighters are just chosen to fight for their realm while they have to fight off against the other invaders, pretty much. And all this is happening without a damn tournament, which I'm like, I really don't get why they could have just had the tournament like the old movies, or at least the first one and the animated one, but because that was the whole purpose of at least the old games and the old movies was a tournament, but yeah, whatever. So let me get to the review. What did I think of this movie? This movie was disappointing. It was underwhelming. As a Mortal Kombat fan that played the video games, that knows the lore, the mythology, the origins of each of these characters and how they're portrayed, pretty much. I don't know. They just did a mediocre job in this movie. So let me get to the things that I liked about this movie first. I liked how brutal and violent and dark this movie is. It's rated R for a reason, which is really good. The blood, the cursing, the violence, it really adds the effect to this movie, so that's a plus. So I love how violent this movie is. They got some of the characters right. They got Scorpion, Sub-Zero. They got Kano pretty right. A lot of people love Kano in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. He was pretty funny in this movie. He's probably like one of the better characters in this movie, but I'll still get back to him. So Kano, did good. Kung Lao, Liu Kang. What else? Cabal. That's all I can think of. Scorpion, yeah, like, and the rest of the characters I wasn't feeling.
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world reference a great tournament.
I like some of the characters. I like how dark this movie is and bloody. And I also like the best part about this movie, for me at least, it could be the same, like everyone could have the same opinion here, but I think the best scene in this whole movie was literally the first 10 minutes of this movie, like the opening sequence. It shows you the origin of Hanzo Hasashi's like clan and his family being brutally murdered by Sub-Zero and his clan. And it just tells you why Scorpion hates Sub-Zero so much. And then they make Sub-Zero such a menace in this movie, which I kind of like this change, because in the games he was like more like a good guy in most of the games, but in this movie he's straight up a villain, a menace to society. So he's pretty evil. And there are times when in this movie where when the snow is arriving or when the ice is coming to like hunt down an enemy, you know Sub-Zero's coming, which I enjoy. They make him like a horror movie villain too, in a way, so that I can appreciate. Also, what I did like about this movie, they put little references of other Mortal Kombat characters. They put Easter eggs, references. They referred to Nightwolf, Kotal Khan, Delilah or Delilah. I don't know. It was Taven's mother from Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which is a PlayStation 2 game. If you guys haven't checked that game out, and I think they also put Johnny Cage in the end credits. They didn't show him, but they show you like a movie poster, like a Hollywood poster of him in this like a fighting like martial arts action movie poster that Johnny Cage is gonna come in the next movie. Because how it ended make it seem like there's gonna be another Mortal Kombat movie, but we'll see how that goes.
Of champions. That dragon marking? I think it's an invitation to fight for something known.
Okay, so for the things that I didn't like about this movie, I didn't really like the plot of this movie, the story. It was too different to the point where it didn't feel like a Mortal Kombat story, in my opinion. Like I said, the first 10 minutes of the movie, it sets you off like, oh, hell yeah, this movie is going to be good. It gets you hooked, and it gets the origin, like, between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, it's done right. But after that sequence, the story kind of goes into like a mediocre route, and I just wasn't feeling it. Like, first of all, there was no tournament. Mortal Kombat always have a tournament no matter what. Like, especially the first three Mortal Kombat games and the first Mortal Kombat movie, the old one. So either way, old school Mortal Kombat it was always about a tournament. But in this case, it doesn't have a tournament. The whole purpose of the tournament, like I said, it was to save their realm from being invaded for like the 10th time, because I guess Outworld won 9 Mortal Kombat tournaments, so if they win one more, it's over. Earthrealm's being invaded. So instead of making another tournament, which they keep mentioning a tournament, Shang Tsung and his allies were like, fuck it, we're not gonna wait, we're just gonna fight and kill these guys anyways before the tournament even starts. Even though in the old movies, Raiden or the Elder Gods keep saying that that's against the rule. That's not how it goes. That's against the rules. But in this movie, Raiden's like, yeah, it's against the rules, but you guys are on your own at the same time. I mean, you guys are not even my fighters. You guys don't deserve to be my fighters. You guys are not my chosen ones. So I'm just gonna hang back and you guys can do your own thing. Which I don't know. Like, I wasn't really feeling that. Like you're Raiden. Like, you know what I mean? Because in the old one, he was just like, you're attacking my fighters, that's against the rule. But in this one, it's like there is no fucking rules, apparently, which is kind of dumb. But I wasn't really feeling Raiden's character. It's just a Raiden that I'm not used to. I wasn't feeling Reptile. They screwed up Reptile. I'm sorry, they really did. I was expecting him to be like a green ninja with the ninja outfit. But even if he was going to be a reptile, at least make him like the reptile skin and still have the ninja outfit like in the later video games. But instead, they make him into an actual lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man movie. That's how it looked. It reminded me of that. So I wasn't really feeling the reptile. I wasn't feeling Reiko. They got Reiko wrong. Melina was. I wish there was more shots of her razor mouth. And the only thing, and then, yeah, I did not like the main character, Cole Young. He was kind of bland, boring, nothing really interesting about him. And then it just kind of goes mediocre when it comes to action movies, when you have the protagonist and his family. Yeah, Cole Young is one of those mediocre main characters that always have to go to the family for, like, I don't know. It's just, Cole Young is just bland to me, and apparently he's a new character for just this movie. He hasn't showed up in any other of the movies or any other video game. He was made specifically for this movie, and I found him to be pretty boring. I'm sorry. Another thing I didn't really like, Scorpion, he had a good introduction, like I said, but this guy literally doesn't show up until the very end, which, even though the very end, it does have an epic fight scene between like him and Sub-Zero, like the two rivals. That's pretty much the best fight scene in this whole movie, because all the other fight scenes were like, it's all right. It's like, it's not as memorable as like the old movies fight scenes. Like, come on. Like Liu Kang versus Reptile, Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung, Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, Sonya versus Kano. Like, all those fights were so memorable. And this movie, I don't know, the fight scenes were just too kind of like in your face, too fast, and it's just like too short and disappointing, and they were not that memorable. Some of these fight scenes were just not that memorable in this movie. But I will say the fatalities in this movie is great. The blood and the violence in these fatalities is great, especially Kung Lao's fatality on Nitara. That was awesome. His razor hat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao. Lord Raiden. The fate of Earth is in our hands.
Yeah, and then Shang Tsung is alright in this movie. I like the old Shang Tsung better in the old movie. And Kano is actually a pretty good character in this movie. His character is done right in this movie, but my only little problem with it is he has scratches on his eye, but I thought what was gonna happen, he was gonna have that silver-plated robotic eye, but he doesn't. He doesn't have that silver-plated robotic eye. He still shoots out laser out of his eye, but he just doesn't have that like robotic silver plate, if that makes sense. Which I don't know. I mean, I'm used to that kind of look of Kano, but
no matter how many of my people you put in the ground, we will not fail. Kill them.
movie just didn't have the charm of the original. That's all I'm saying. Like, the movie tried so hard to be like a video game movie, but at the same time trying to mix it with like a modern, like a mediocre action movie, which if you could blend those two things together, it just turns out just all right. Like, this movie could have been done better. This movie had so much potential. I feel like for a Mortal Kombat fan, for any Mortal Kombat fan, a Mortal Kombat fan could have made this movie way better. I'm sorry, but there are rumors that Warner Brothers has something to do with it, where they cut a lot of scenes out and yada yada, but I don't know. This movie's just disappointing overall. So I would give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. There were some good moments. There were some entertaining fight scenes, entertaining gore, entertaining performances. Some of the characters were done right. But yet you still have mediocre characters and characters that wasn't done right, and mediocre plot that it wasn't feeling. So there's that. So that was my quick review of Mortal Kombat 2021. It's on HBO Max if you guys haven't seen it. So please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.